Hello, this is OverlordBou back with another information first look video, and today we're going to be looking at the Oregon, the experimental Tier 10 Georgia. Now, this ship is one of 3 experimental ships that are being currently tested in 13.11. If you look in the equipment here, there are 2 skills or 2 features that are being experimented on the Oregon, and that is the fight or flight feature and the limited stock shells, and I'm gonna let SAT score explain what those are.
Okay. So the ship itself is based on Georgia, but the main thing they're testing is the two features, the fighter flight and the limited stock shells. So for the first one, it is described as the ship's characteristics will gradually improve as she loses hit points. So you can think of it as a improved adrenaline rush. The idea is the ship starts with only part of her HP pool. And in this case, the Oregon will start with roughly uh,
30,000, roughly 30,000.
30,000 HP, so a little bit under half her HP. But in exchange, you get those insane bonuses, like main battery reload time and shell dispersion is dramatically reduced.
Yep.
So So wargaming is so this is intended to test a. You can either choose to keep these bonuses and play on the edge, or if you want to play it safe, then you can heal up but just not gain the benefits
Yeah,
and
because
try
there
to.
are these ships are equipped with a special heal that heals a massive amount of health. So they have these super heals that will get them for the Oregon. If you build into it, probably will go to about 25,000 is what it'll probably heal. So you start off at 30,000, you can heal up to about probably 55,000. So you can heal up a lot of these. Sorry, you can heal up pretty quickly, but there is a consumable preparation time of 200 seconds with that heal. So you can't even heal within the first 3 minutes of the match with this ship, and that is what they're testing so far with that heal and these features, with them being like starting with half health and then having the limited stock of shells, which SAT score will get into more detail.
Yep. And in addition, if you're wondering if adrenaline rush stacks with the skill, it does. So on top of those bonuses, you can get adrenaline rush for even more insane reload time.
Hmm.
But of course, that naturally means you are playing at low health, and enemies will try to focus. If players were to fight each other, then people will try to focus you. So don't think you get away with it for free. Now let's move on with the second experimental ship feature, which is limited stock shells. So in this case, they are limited AP shells and are designed to be an improvement over the standard shells. But there is the catch is that the range is dramatically reduced. So for Oregon's case, it goes down to the reload time goes up a little bit, and the firing range goes down by, well, currently 40%, but that is
Yep.
subject to change. So
So funny
uh,
thing about these shells, I'm looking at them currently in game. So the limited stock shells are 100 faster than the base. So base is currently 732 for the shells, right? When you activate the burst fire mode for it, the burst fire mode makes it where the shells are more accurate for the regular AP, but for the special AP shells, they go 100 meters per second quicker than the regular AP. The damage doesn't change, and the dispersion stays the same as the regular AP. The only difference is the shells are quicker, which means it's easier to aim the shells than compared to the other AP. And with that higher speed also means more penetrating power.
Uh, there's also the possibility there's some other hidden stats improved, such as
Yes.
bounce angles.
Mm-hmm.
Wargaming stated that those could be added in later on, for testing, of course.
Yep.
Improved characteristics of shells will include, but are not limited to, ballistics, ricochet angles, and fuse times.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can. These shells are intended to be treated more like consumables rather than like. Yeah, think of it as more like a consumable. So, you use it at certain times during the fight when it's appropriate, and when you. But if you use it too much, and you'll completely empty your stock, and you're only left with your normal AP shells.
Yep.
So be careful. Be careful not to expend them too carelessly on unworthy targets.
Yeah, so the burst fire mode is the only way you're able to activate it, and it does have a 35-second reload for the burst fire currently in the testing. This, of course, is all subject to change. These are the subject to change for all of this, of course. So anything you see here is currently in heavy testing. So any of these concepts are most likely going to be changing. I just wanted to show you guys these because a lot of people have been asking about it. So I just want to show you guys this new concept because it's definitely a game-changing concept being added. So I want to make sure that we got it covered so you guys can understand it. Because this is a tier 10 Georgia, but it has the experimental shells and the fight or flight feature on the ship is what's being tested on it.
And remember, this is actually for a limited event that's going to happen in the future.
Yes.
So, Wargaming so far does not seem to intend to bring those or all of those features over to PvP. But plans may change. We do not know anything at this point. Instead, Wargaming announces these changes, and well, it is up to you to decide what you think of them.
Yep. So definitely a very interesting feature. I know a lot of people, or there's been stuff going around saying this is a premium ammo, or just like in World of Tanks, this is not. I don't think it's going to be considered a premium ammo. What do you think, SAT score? Like, compared to World of Tanks, how similar do you think this new feature is compared to World of Tanks?
As it stands right now, it's built in with the ship. You literally, it's, as Wargaming said, it should be treated more as a consumable than premium ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't play World of Tanks, but from what I understand, you actually have to pay for the premium ammo whenever you shoot it.
Yes.
But here, it just comes with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So by that definition, it cannot be premium ammo.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if this ship is like a premium? Like, if they add this feature onto like a premium, would it be considered like a premium thing at that point? If they did that, do you think?
It wouldn't be because, as I said, it's how it's being used. It's presumably the balance would be designed around the ship having premium ammo.
Yes.
Not unlike the World of Tanks version.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing people are concerned about. That's why I'm asking about it, right? So this whole ammo type is being built around a ship. So the ship is being balanced with this ammo type being put into consideration, right? So I want people to not be concerned with the fact this is like a premium ammo, as in the whole ship concept is being built around the addition of these shells and the fact that it has the fight or flight. So the ship starts off at half health. It can't use a heal for the first 3 minutes of a match. You can reduce that with like November Foxtrot signal. You can reduce it to get a little bit quicker. But you still are going to be having a very long time without using a heal. So it's a very high risk, high reward kind of play style, right? Now, we're not going to theorize on the build, of course, because again, this is very experimental. But this kind of ship is going to be very high risk, high reward for those really, like, more of those like stronger players or people that are wanting to a little bit live more on the edge in a match or in a ship. Because, like I say, like, right, Georgia doesn't have the best armor, right? It's not the tankiest battleship. So if you go in guns blazing with only half health, you're going to get killed really fast in the first 3 minutes. So you have to play your range. And again, that ammo type can only be used within 13.5 kilometers. And that is with the burst fire mode as well. The regular AP and the HE can all during the burst fire, it can only be used within 13.5 kilometers. So if you try to go in guns blazing within 3 minutes using that burst fire, which is only within 13.5 kilometers, you're going to be dead. So you can't even use the special ammo within 3 minutes without unless you get extremely lucky. But like in early matches, that's not going to be what makes this ship strong or this concept strong. It's going to be late game where there's less ships, there's more 1v1 encounters. You're going to do a lot better in those regards, or more like broadside fights or like drive-bys. That's where this concept would become very strong. But early game, no, this is not going to be a strong concept.
Mm-hmm. If you can manage your HP in the early game and not get focused out early, then as Bo says, this build seems to suggest these experimental ships seems to be designed for the mid to late game.
Exactly.
Where everyone's at low HP and their bonuses just shine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the main thing to take a look at is that fight or flight feature in the maximum dispersion. This ship is going to have very tight dispersion with that fight or flight feature, so I'm very interested to see how that feature changes over time when this goes through the testing phase, and how this all goes over well. But so far, I'm really excited about how this is going to be added. It's going to add more of those ships that have like a high risk by reward kind of play style that are a lot more fun to play. So I'm very interested to see how this ship goes throughout the testing process. And again, we're not going to theorize on the build because it's so early in the testing phase for this kind of concept. Trying to put a build on it, all it's going to do is kind of just spread misinformation. So it's better for us not to.
I wonder if Wargaming will keep this in PvE, because it looks like the scaling right now looks pretty powerful. So, and the concept is kind of inherently difficult to balance because the way it's designed, it rewards skill, but it's also very punishing to play if you mess up. So I wonder if Wargaming will continue this concept in PvP, or maybe just keep it as a PvE feature where you're fighting bots that don't really care about balancing.
Yeah. At this point, we have no idea. We just know that these 3 ships are going to be put into the game at some point for testing or for gameplay at some point, but we just don't know when or how long that's going to be tested. So we just have to wait and see. But is there anything else you want to cover? Because it's pretty much a Georgia, so I don't think we really need to cover everything. No. It has 457s. It has the same maneuverability as a Georgia. It has a super heal, and you do start off with 5 heals though. Like, that's a lot of heals. 5 heals is a lot, and you can build into that too. So I feel like if as it stands now, right? Technically, if you built into the heal 10%, like you can stack it up to like almost 30,000 for a heal. That includes like all the flags, like the flags, the heal skill. If you get all that put together, it's a very large heal, and the cooldown is 60 seconds for the heal too. Once the 3 minutes are up for the preparation time. So if you can survive the first 3 minutes theoretically, it's gonna be really good as long as you can manage that heal properly. If you don't, then yeah, you're suffering. But in a tier 10 environment, we all know what Georgias do, right? They get absolutely melted by tier 10 battleships. So you could think of this as kind of a similar tankiness thing to kind of like the Wisconsin. The Wisconsin isn't the tankiest battleship, but due to its consumable, it becomes tanky because of its being used, and a good player can make use of it. So kind of like the same way with the Oregon, but instead of it being a combat instruction, it's just a straight up heal. Also, you do get a speed boost, which is nice. So that's nice too.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to add for this one?
So remember, these values are all just how it is on PTS. We do not take these values at face value. It is 99% chance of going to be changed, and even entire concept may be changed. It is possible Wargame will go on with this concept. It's possible they may just get scrapped. We do not know at this time. The only way to know is to just test it and see how it turns out. If Wargaming likes it, then we may see some parts of it make it in the future. If not, then, well, just another feature to look back on a couple years in the future.
Yep, so that is going to be it. Thank you so much for your help today, SAT Score. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, let us know in the comments down below. This is OverlordBou and SAT Score, and we'll both talk to y'all later.